It's Thad with Willoway. Today I wanted to show you something unique and interesting. This is our first grow around with this crop. It's Serena Bug Bat. It's pitcher plant, so pretty neat. All these little pitcher tubes. This plant actually gets all its food from insects, so they get trapped down in there and it digests them and feeds them. So in growing this plant, you have to be really careful about nutrients. It really doesn't want to get nutrients through the roots. One of the other things is this is a bog type plant, so it likes be moist rooted but not too wet, and it can take a little bit of flooding. Some people do these like in a pool with like peat moss planted in the yard, so it's a little different. As you can see though, we are getting some roots down in, but not a lot, not for a plant of this size. You'd think this would be full of roots. This is actually rooted really well, so if you do pick up a plant like this, don't expect to see it like where you see a lot of the other perennials and plants where the roots are wrapped all the way around. It's really full. This plant, really the roots are just for support. One of the other interesting things with this is it does flower. When it flowers, the pictures are not on there, and it basically wants to be pollinated by insects, but it doesn't want to eat those insects. So pretty neat plant, Serena Bug Bat. If you haven't tried it, it might be a good one to pick up and try. Hi, it's Thad Willoway. Here at Hydrangea Paniculata, vanilla strawberry from First Editions. I wanted to talk a little bit about this time of year they're starting to come into bloom, and have that long seasonal color in them. A couple little side notes on this: the red stems generally indicate that it's a pink flowering, and if it has a green stem, it's a white flowering one. So a little bit of just an ID or differentiation within them. We've been trimmed. We do split trim these crops so that we have flowering at different times. So we always kind of have, this one's really getting close. They're starting to set some buds in the top right now. We have a really nice crop here and in several different locations. So we always try to keep something like in a bud to blooming stage. But like I said, these have that, they're known for that long flowering time, and they go from like a white or a pink to like some kind of papery kind of tan color in the flowers. You can use them for dried flower arranging if you want. They make a really nice, but you get that long-term flowering. There's varieties like pufferfish that just continue to keep having buds go up through the end, so you get these long flowers in them. So there's a lot of varieties, and each is kind of unique, and so there's a lot of choices when you get into Hydrangea Paniculatas. Hi, we moved over. We're looking at Hydrangea Paniculata Limelights. This is kind of like I guess the standard in white tree hydrangeas these days. There's Limelight Prime, but this one's really one of the more aggressive ones, faster growing, tends to get really large flowers, as you can see here, white, and you can see that they're pushing more flowers off the end here a little bit. So you get this multi-staged flower. We have a nice crop here that, like I was talking about with the split trimming and the vanilla strawberries. These are about 2 weeks maybe ahead of that other group. You could just see the flowers starting to tip in the bottom. Now they're starting to push out here a little bit, and you can see they're just starting to open up a little bit, and then this is kind of the final stage of them being out. And as I said, the white flower would always have this green stem that you can look at to differentiate between a pink and a white in the Hydrangea Paniculatas. Hi, we're out here with our Fusia Picata Green Giant. This is a great plant, deer resistance, makes a great hedge, really fast growing, loves moisture, so the more moisture you get it, the better. The one thing you've got to be thinking about if you're wanting to plant evergreens, like now is a good time to start planting them, getting them watered in and established. That's just to help with the more roots they get established, the better they winter, less chance of winter burn. If we plant them late in the year, we really got to make sure they go into winter really hydrated and the roots don't dry out at all. So it's a real imperative that the evergreens in the fall planting that we keep them moist. So even with summer, but we'll get more root establishment, which will help us get them through the winter better. Some of the other unique features is it's very trimmable. So we do a light trim on these about once a year. They're very central leader. So if you're looking for an arborvitae that does, or Fusia that has a central leader, the Green Giant's a real good one. There's some other varieties as well, but most of the Picatas are central leadered, where if you get into the Occidentalis, those tend to be multi-leadered. So if you get in like Techni, Pyramidal, some of those varieties. Hi, this is Thad with Willoway Nurseries. Here, one of our fall blooming perennials. It's really nice this time of year. is Nene curtain call deep rose. As you can see, a nice rose flower color. Lots of buds up here, great display up high above the foliage. One of the unique things about growing this plant is we do use PGRs on this. Very early on, when they start to get going, we'll use PGRs to keep them more compact and a little nicer. This plant will get a little taller in the landscape, but for pot culture, we really want to keep it shorter, otherwise they want to fall over and get floppy. So the PGR really helps us with stem strength and making it a really nice display. So you can see here, lots of flowers. There's probably 50, 60 flowers on here. So this is just starting to bloom. We got a great crop behind me that's just coming into flower. So